So it's been about a week, 6 days, 7 days. Yeah, a lot of things, but whatever. So I thought I'm gonna rank this time my top 10 favorite directors of all time. Okay. And first of all, I'm gonna say this is a new hardest list. Because this one was exhausting. I started this yesterday, finished it today, but also now remember this is a personal list. Okay, so this is not the greatest directors of all time, even though some of them are very obvious choices. But it's not the greatest directors of all time. It's my personal favorites, even though some are obvious choices. So, okay, so as I scribble down, like always, so many or some of the greatest directors didn't make my personal top 10, like Martin Scorsese was in my top 10 once. Orson Welles didn't make it. Federico Fellini was in my top 10 once before, also as Martin Scorsese. But they are some of my favorite directors of all time, but not in my top 10. So I'm not even sure I have ever actually seen our Akira Kurosawa film or a John Ford film, not really sure. You know, Howard Hawks didn't make my personal top 10, but we all know he's a great director. Okay, as we know, Akira Kurosawa and John Ford, but I'm not sure I've seen any of their films really. I'm not sure. So two directors that I was really surprised didn't make my top 10 was Stanley Kubrick, known as the greatest director, the greatest filmmaker of all time. I was so surprised he wasn't in my top 10, as well as Alfred Hitchcock. Definitely up there, very high up there, but probably in my top 15, yeah, for sure. And Quentin Tarantino also. So yeah, Stanley Kubrick, Alfred Hitchcock, and Quentin Tarantino, number 11, 12, 13, or definitely in my top 15. Yeah. The place was changing all the time. Some got in and some got out all the time, and you know, I'm such a huge fan of filmmaking and film, and I'm also a filmmaker, by the way, so never got recognized or anything like that, but I haven't looked anything up on of these my top 10 favorite directors because I know them so well anyways. So I do everything from memory here. Okay. I'm gonna take a smoke. Yeah, this was definitely my hardest list. Yet again a hardest list. But which is very fun. Challenging yourself. Challenging yourself. Good. So let's get down to the ranking now. So, oh god, all of my favorite directors have their own unique personal style, so that's a huge important thing. And there can be a pattern in my favorite directors as we go through, but anyway, so 10, Dario Argento. Dario Argento is like Italian's biggest horror director, if not Mario Bava before. very gruesome. I'm not so much into gruesome stuff. I respect that, and all the. I'm more about the mystery. So my favorite films are Suspiria, his most known film. I'm not gonna say about these directors' most known film if I'm not a big fan, but one of Dario Argento is Deep Red, Profondo Rosso. My personal favorite Argento film is Opera. 1987. Phenomena is another one. Trauma, not that light, but Opera is probably my top 10 favorite film, top 15 favorite films of all time. So yeah, he's a very unique, very stylistic, gruesome director. Yeah, my favorite real horror director, even though I'm not a big horror fan per se. So 9, Chris Cunningham. Chris Cunningham, I got into doing Aphex Twin, my favorite musician of all time. Aphex Twin music videos like Window Licker 1999, Come to Dead in 1997, and a lot of other music videos, which is great. I have the work of the work of directors, his volume, and not all his music videos was in there, but I think I have seen all of his music videos and commercial and as through the internet. Yeah, he's very sick, very perverted. It's often about autonomy, physical stuff, and everything. But I respect what he do. He often makes, especially with IDM, drum and bass, drill and bass, glitch music, makes his short films and how do music videos to fit into the music. So the music and the film plays together. It's absolutely extraordinary. I started to get a little scared of his later stuff because that is very perverted and shit, but his 90s stuff and 2000, and he doesn't do a lot either. Anyways, his Rubber Johnny short film 2005, I bought it with a book of perverted things. Yeah, that's very frightening. But his music video stuff, especially, is very great, and some of his commercials. So, and he's known as a very good music video director, as Dario Argento is known as one of the greatest horror directors of all time. So, 8, Steven Spielberg. Hollywood's Goldboy. Okay. Known as one of the greatest directors of all time, absolutely. My favorites are of him is the first Indiana Jones trilogy, Raiders of the Lost Ark, 1981, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, 1994, and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, 1989. A lot of other films, Jurassic Park, 1994, or was it 93? A lot of stuff. He made Jaws 1975, I think, which was the first real summer blockbuster film, and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, which spawned the PG-13 in cinema and other great films. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, 1978 or 77, whatever. Schindler's List, I haven't seen the whole film, and Saving Private Ryan. And you can give this guy a film and he can do every genre. One of the greatest directors of all time, as he's known for. And he has his own style also, own techniques and everything. 7, could be a little weird choice, Joe Dante. I don't think so. Joe Dante do a lot of mostly comedic film, but comedic films with horror segments or comedy horror and stuff like. My favorite Joe Dante film is The Burbs, 1989, and Gremlins, the first Gremlins, and Gremlins and the New Batch, and a lot of films. So yeah, Joe Dante is a big fan of. This is my personal take of Joe Dante. Joe Dante is a big fan of Chuck Jones and other who do cartoon movies, cartoon films, and everything. So I think he tries to make his films look like cartoons. So people having shirts that are one color, like taller green, taller red, and everything. And he has a way of choosing actors by the looks. Fantastic, great director, great with humor. So there's so much I can say of all these directors, but the video will go to infinity. So 6, Ingmar Bergman. Ingmar Bergman is, as I think, is the greatest director of all time. If not Stanley Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick and Ingmar Bergman are the two greatest directors of all time, as I think. Ingmar Bergman. Holy shit. The Seventh Seal. My favorite is Gycklarnas afton, which is pronounced as sawdust and tinsel, and Kvinnodröm, Women's Dream, and The Seventh Seal, the sjunde inseglet, The Seventh Seal. Yeah, this is a classic director, one of the greatest directors of all time, as he is known for. And a few others are my favorites of his. So 5, David Cronenberg. David Cronenberg is really known for starting the whole body horror genre with horror and physical stuff, really sick, really perverted stuff, which is really exciting to watch in film. I'm not into perverted or sick stuff, but it's very exciting. My favorite of him is often known as his best film, Videodrome 1983. That's a fucking phenomenal film. Very sick, very tense. One of the most tense and exciting films I have ever seen. Another one of his most known films is The Fly, 1986, which is a remake of an old classic film. And yeah, a lot of stuff. He's great, absolutely amazing director. There's so many stuff. So Crash, 1996, where people get sexual arousal from car crashes, and very unique, very sick, strange, disturbing stuff he does. By the way, I drink this weaker beer 5.2 now because I'm planning to stop drinking so I don't get delirium 3 months. Later I'm gonna drink 3.5 beers you can buy in stores in Sweden and everything, because here you have to go to Systembolaget to buy stronger stuff, so whatever. Okay. Thought I'm gonna say that quickly. So 4, John Waters. Oh my god. John Waters is a very comedic director. Do a lot of very sick stuff. Sexual stuff, especially in the beginning of his career, like Pink Flamingos, Desperate Living, and films like that. There are totally fucked up. Like when Devine yeah, what was it called? John Glenn Minstard eating the shit. And he actually eats shit. And they fucked a hen or a cock, whatever it was, and it actually died in the set. I'm not into animal cruelty or anything like that. That's I hate that shit. But that's not. I'm just gonna mention of the stuff they did. Sick stuff like transvestites, which I'm not. I don't think it's sick at all. But transvestites is not sick. But the way they do it, and in Pink Flamingos, probably his most legendary film, murdering people in the film, not in real life, in the film. But I'm more into John Waters' like middle era, so to say, like his more mainstream stuff, like Hairspray and Cry Baby. Cry Baby is probably my favorite film of his, and 1990 Cry Baby, and I think 1988 Hairspray, Polyester 1980, I think it was. That's a great film, man. Serial Mom 1993, another great film, I think, which is not that loud, but A Dirty Shame 1994, his latest feature-length film. He's basically stopped making film now, so great director. I'm very humoristic, very sick, perverted. I love his more professional stuff, rather than his more really independent stuff. Even everything he does is independent, but a little more professional, a little more tamed. So, 3, Michel Gondry. Michel Gondry is known as one, if not the greatest, music video directors of all time. Very unique, very original, very smart, intelligent stuff. How he does things physical, and you all probably know about The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, his greatest film, or The Science of Sleep, another feature-length film he did. Great films, great films. My favorite of his is his music videos, like when he works with Björk and a lot of other artists. Very unique, very intelligent, smart, out of the box. He's like this science director. He figure out stuff. He do so intelligent stuff that is unbelievable. Okay. To Jonas Åkerland. Jonas Åkerland is almost this number 2 and number 1 are tied for me. Jonas Åkerland does things in film, music videos. He's also known as one of the greatest music video directors of all time, by the way. He does things that how I want to live my life. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And I lived that life. And I saw it wasn't that great. He has a very unique style, as all these directors in my list. And is often very quite sick, perverted, disturbing. The Prodigy's Make My Bitch Up. If you see that music video, 1997, his big breakthrough, and the Metallica video, Whiskey in the Jar, which is a remake of an old Irish folk song, and his debut film, Spun. Those are my 3 favorite things from Jonas Åkerland. But he can be a hit or miss. Some things I don't like. I like his stuff. He had the world record, or with most cuts in a film, and this was before digital, by the way, the Spun movie. The world record in most cuts in film, how many frames I can't even remember. Mostly I like the thing he do about drugs and prostitutes, sex, and all that stuff. It's really fascinating to me, watching sort of stuff on film and music videos, short film, whatever. So He could be tied with this one, but has always been my favorite director of all time. David Lynch, number one, David Lynch. David Lynch is known as the most unique director of all time, the most absurd, most strange director of all time. Going back to his short films, his full-length feature, Eraserhead, the strangest, most absurd film of all time. The Elephant Man, his second film based on a true story, very good. And other films like Blue Velvet, my favorite film of all time. Twin Peaks, the television series, my favorite thing I have ever seen after I saw Black Mirror, the anthology television series. Twin Peaks, Firewalk with Me, Mulholland Drive, known as the greatest film of the 21st century. Inland Empire, great, a lot of stuff. So he has done so much, and yeah, my favorite director of all time. I used to watch Mulholland Drive, and I saw I had the DVD, and I saw the special feature, and I said like this, almost crying. When David Lynch talked and actors talked about working with him, his movies is like a puzzle ready to be solved, a labyrinth, you know. There's was one site I saw there. David Lynch is mostly known as the most intelligent director in some way. So, and there was a site, and they wrote other movies not intelligent besides David Lynch movies. David Lynch movies like Mulholland Drive, Twin Peaks, Firewalk with Me, Inland Empire are the most complex things you will ever seen. So David Lynch is my number one director of all time. So many I left out, but this is my top 10. Okay, thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.